Hi there, welcome to Lad Mix Farm. It's Arthur here. Today we'd like to look at key points that you need to consider to succeed in animal farming. As a starter or as somebody who's already doing animal production, there are certain key elements or points that you need to really consider or handle well so that you are successful in this enterprise. The first is to identify the right project to start with. Remember, we have different kinds of animals. If you want to go, for instance, into goats, or whether you want to go into poultry, or whether you want to go into cattle, you'll be able to identify the project that is going to resonate more with your aspirations and so forth. Now, for instance, if you have chosen goats, what kind of goats are you interested in? There are many types of goats. We have the local goats, but also when it comes to the hybrid, we also have the Boer goats, we have the Savannahs, we have the Kalharis and so forth. We have the Sanins, which are for male. So if you have chosen to go for milk, then you have to go for the Sanin breed, and maybe there are also other breeds for milk production. If it is for meat production, then you're looking at either the Boer goats, the Savannah, and the red Kalahari. Now, once you have done that, then you'll be able to see which one are you going to go for. Is it all the three hybrids for meat production, or you're going to zero down on one? This will depend on also where your farm is located, the geographic location, and so many factors. By the way, when you're doing some of this research, you need to do it also in consultation with the district agriculture officer or your veterinary officer or some other farmers within your locality that have already started this. They'll be able to guide you and make sure that you don't have to go into a lot of challenges. Second is to have the right team on ground. It's very, very key to have the right team. One of the major challenges that farmers are facing is high worker turnover. That is when people come on but they don't take long on a farm. Either there are trust issues or capabilities of work and so forth. Sometimes it's due to the worker themselves, and sometimes the farmer is forced to get rid of some of these workers. So it is important to look out for the right team, and this team should share the same vision as yourself, so that you have a shared vision. They know what you're going to do. You sit them down in a meeting and tell them what you're trying to achieve. Important that we align ourselves or try to look out for the right team to move forward properly. The third one is to ensure that we do the right management practices on the farm. For instance, if you have been able to start with your animals, say 50 or 100, do the right management practices. For instance, it is key to make sure that you vaccinate your animal. Have your vaccination schedule there very clearly laid out, but also get to know the kind of diseases that affect your geographical location. It may not necessarily be the same as the diseases that are prevalent in other geographical locations. And don't look at a clip, let's say for a farmer in Kenya or somebody in a different climatic conditions than you, and you follow their vaccination schedule. You should be able, through consultation with your vet, the district agriculture people, but also other prominent farmers, you'll be able to identify those key challenges in terms of diseases that are vaccinatable in your locality and be able to plan for that and make sure that you don't have that challenge. By the way, it is very, very easy to lose a herd if you undermine some aspects of this. For instance, when a disease that's supposed to be vaccinated is not, once it comes, it can clearly finish your whole herd in 1 or 2 days. So it's better you sacrifice one animal but save the whole herd. You have to be able to look out for this before it actually occurs, not addressing the problem when it has occurred. That's why the challenge can be. Then do your routine weekly spraying if you are supposed to use a set schedule. Say if it's going to be weekly or every after 2 weeks, depending on the time of the year that you are into. During the rainy season, there are lots of, for instance, grass and pastures, but also the worm prevalence in animals is quite high. So you find yourself, for instance, doing the deworming more frequently. And if it's another kind of project, let's say poultry and so forth, then you also know how to handle that bit. But it is important that you do the right management practices. Record keeping. It is very important as a farmer to have your record. Ensure to do your record at every time you are doing a major activity on the farm. Do frequent monitoring. If there are records and maybe you are treating a certain animal several times, you are able to see the amount of money you're spending on a particular animal. If it's maybe a breed, for instance, you bring like a Savannah breed in your locality, but you find that Savannahs are maybe getting sickly more often than the Boers. And then you have to compare and see the amount of money you're putting into the acaricide, you're putting into the deworming, into treating and the vet, and compared to what you're putting for the Boer flock. And then you say maybe you need to make a decision to go with the Boers and forget about the Savannahs. So depending on what you're doing and what you have chosen to do, record keeping can be able to help you also as you do your routine monitoring together with your team. As I told you, once you have the right team, you have a shared vision, they understand what you're trying to aspire for, they'll be able to journey with you properly. So that's about record keeping. Ensure to visit other farms. You'll notice that as a farmer, you need to get knowledge on a daily basis. Every day is a learning day. It's something that you're actually learning. Visit other farms. See what they are doing on their farms. How are they approaching certain challenges? Once you interact with them, or have forums where you can be able to interact with your like-minded farmers. There are several WhatsApp groups. You can be able to join some of these WhatsApp groups. They're able to share the challenges. They're able to share days when they are going to have farm visits on their premises, and therefore you plan accordingly and ensure that you journey as a team. That will be very, very key as compared to standing alone and thinking that you can go about it alone. Ensure to find some of these solutions by interacting with your like-minded people and peers around you. It helps you reach your target quite faster. Instead of, say, losing animals all every now and then because you're trying to do it alone, or you're having some quack vet who is not helping you, by interacting with the other farmers, they'll tell you that this vet is good, this one is not reliable. Then you're able to change and be able to choose. And also they tell you, no, for me, I don't use the traditional medicine. I normally go for this particular drug for this particular disease, and it has not disappointed me. You'll be able to find out that information, and it will help you clear some of these challenges and try to grow your figures, your numbers properly and adequately without much hassle. Otherwise, once you start on a wrong note, it can actually disappoint you. You can literally get demoralized and think that maybe you chose a wrong path, when actually you just need to change a little bit on how you're doing certain aspects and be able to move on smoothly. Thank you very much. If you think this information is helpful, please consider subscribing. For our regular subscribers, thank you so much. Please feel free to give us your comments. It helps us to learn. It helps us to see how we can improve, and also know that we are giving you the information that is relevant to you out there.